start on the wig journey and start watching reviews, you might hear occasionally reviewers refer to some wigs as dream hair. And I would wager that the wig on my head is considered dream hair by some. So today, let's learn about this dream hair. Her name is Editor's Pick, and we're going to talk all about her. My name is Denise. I'm also known as heywigsister on Instagram and Facebook, and I am here with 𝘕𝘌 to bring you this review of Editor's Pick. 𝘕𝘌 is an online retailer, but they are also a company with some in-person wig shops. They have a number of wig shops in Canada, some coming soon to the US, and they carry all the major name brands. I'm really thrilled to be partnering with 𝘕𝘌 on reviews and bringing you tons of different styles and tons of different colors. And today, Editor's Pick is on deck, and we are going to learn all about this style as well as this color, which is RL8/29 Hazelnut. I do cover color toward the end of my reviews. I timestamp all the major segments, so if you're only here to see color, you can skip ahead to that section. We'll cover it inside and outside. I will put some details in the description box below, a coupon code that will save you some money. 𝘕𝘌 does have sales regularly, and they also host a live sale once a week, so definitely check them out and maybe sign up for their newsletter so that you can be notified when a sale hits. Let's take a look at Editor's Pick from all sides. When I say dream hair, I'm referring to the type of hairstyle that you maybe have always wished you could pull off, or the hair that you've always wished you could have and wasn't really in the cards for you at any point in your life. And I would say that Editor's Pick can be considered dream hair for some because of its fullness. We have quite a bit of hair on this piece. It is listed as being medium density. I would consider this more medium to high density. And then with the curl wave pattern, it definitely has a fullness to it all throughout, but especially on the sides. This is like that big barrel curl style where you really amp up the volume. Maybe you use some thickening product, some styling product, and it really is that big, bold hair. Maybe it's event hair, fancy hair, but it is super fun. Now, Editor's Pick does have a lace front. You can see that right there. Really good lace front. Raquel Welch does a great job on their lace fronts. And we also have a full mono top, which means that you can actually part this one anywhere you want to part it on the top. So inside the cap, you can see that's where you've got your full monofilament. You can part it anywhere on the very top of your head. To change the part, you do need to use some heat to do that. We have got soft ear tabs with bendable stays, and then we do dark caps are always hard to see. There's that extended nape, and we also have Velcro adjusters, and the rest is open wefted. Now, I kind of mentioned density already. I do think this is more medium to heavy density, so it definitely has a lot of hair. If you've struggled with hair loss for a long time and maybe you've had really thin, fine hair for a really long time, this is going to feel like a lot of hair to you. That doesn't mean that you can't wear this or that you can't get used to it, but I do want you to go into certain wigs with reasonable and realistic expectations. And I would say that for a lot of wig wearers, the fullness on this one could take some getting used to. We do have some Permatease right kind of at the crown. I would say the Permatease on this one is at a minimum. We do not have super heavy traditional Permatease, more like crimpy fibers. I can touch all the way down to cap. I'm not feeling any of the pillowy Permatease that sometimes wigs with a lot of Permatease can have. So I would say the volume from this style is more because of the style itself, because of the layers, because of the cut. You can see it's a heavily layered piece, because of the curl, but not really because of Permatease. One thing I have noticed about Editor's Pick is there can be quite a bit of variation in the wave pattern on this style. It's not uncommon for there to be variation with wigs, especially wigs with hand-tied features like the monofilament on the top or the lace front, because somebody is hand tying all of those fibers in. The way that they tie them in, where they place maybe some of the highlights, where they place the curl and the wave pattern, that can all create some variation from style to style. This is made with heat-friendly synthetic fibers, so you can work with this one to make it your own really easily with any hot tool. And I always encourage you to think about making your wigs your own. And so don't be afraid to play with your wigs. There's tons of videos on YouTube showing you how. I have lots of tip videos. So just know with heat-friendly fibers, you can easily modify with a hot tool. Let's talk about fit. Raquel Welch is a brand known for running pretty true to average. I have found in general Raquel Welch wigs fit me a little big. I do have a average petite head size. I'm actually pretty petite over the top of my head, and what happens is I usually get a lot of extra cap right at the crown, and this one is no exception. I am getting a fair amount of extra cap up here. It's also fairly loose around my circumference, and so I have to cinch these wigs in a fair amount. Normally, how I combat wigs that are a little too big for me is I just wear a wig grip with them. And that's what I do with this brand and with this wig. If I were to wear this out and about, I would absolutely wear a wig grip. All of my measurements are in the description box below so you can compare them to yours. Let's talk about styling. One of the ways that you can help yourself to get over the struggle bus hump when it comes to wig wearing is to style your wigs. When I say make your wigs your own, it doesn't always just mean trimming them and cutting them and thinning them. Sometimes it's just using accessories. So one of my best tips that I can give you when it comes to wig wearing is if you are struggling with wigs being too full, maybe you thought you could pull a wig off, you get it on your head, and it just feels like too much hair for you. Grabbing a headband, I'm just trying to pull some of the hair out of the way here so that I can tuck the headband in, will make a huge difference when a wig feels like too much hair for you. So right now, what I'm doing is I'm trying to get a lot of the hair back into this headband. I'm tucking the hair behind my ears so that we're getting some of that fullness off the front. And just doing that little bit can make such a big difference. You can kind of fluff up the hair in the back if you want to, or you can smooth it out. Another option, you know, this has enough length that you could put this in a low ponytail if you wanted to, or a claw clip. And so grabbing the hair, try to avoid this tag here, grabbing the hair, doing a little bit of a twist, throwing a clip in, and then playing with all of the curl on this one and the wave and the layers can make a huge difference. And right now, I have just reduced that volume and that poof by so much that if you have struggled with wigs being too much for you, I really want you to consider how you might incorporate some styling with your wigs to help you. Now, eventually, you're gonna get used to seeing yourself with more hair, and you're not necessarily going to have to style your wigs, but in the beginning, it can make a huge difference. So I'm tucking the hair behind my ears, getting some of that volume off my face. Because this one has tons of layers and tons of curls, I really think you can play around and do some different things. We can grab some of this hair and pull it back into a half up, half down. We can stick just a little elastic ponytail holder and, gather this up and use that to hold it back. You can use some bobby pins, you can use a claw clip, but then look at just what a difference that has made already in getting rid of some of that volume and some of that hair. So I just want to encourage you, don't be afraid to style your wigs, to play with your wigs, to use accessories, clips, headbands, ponytail holders, bobby pins. There's so many ways that you can play with these wigs, and honestly, I think every one of us has to find our own way on this journey. But when we're new, I think we're a little paralyzed sometimes, so don't be paralyzed. Just know there's a lot you can do, and it can just take time. So if you go for the dream hair, you can play with it until you're ready for it. Let's talk about color. SS hazelnut, sometimes it's called shaded hazelnut. The code for this is RL8/29SS. When I first started wearing wigs, this was one of my favorite colors. I have naturally dark brown hair, and the very first kind of highlighted color that I could really wear was this one. It's got some really gorgeous auburn, or sometimes referred to as ginger red highlights, and you can really see that here. So the color code, the RL, just means they're heat-friendly fibers in the Raquel Welch line of wigs. They also carry some regular synthetic fibers, so those would have a different letter code. RL means it's heat-friendly. And then the 8 is the base color. And 8 is a medium brown. When you think about the codes, brunettes go from a 2 to a 12. So a 2 is the darkest brown, a 12 is the lightest brown. So we're right down, smack dab in the middle there. So this is a medium brown base with the highlight throughout is a 29, which is an auburn, a kind of a reddish auburn, sometimes an Irish red, and there's that root. So when you see an SS on a Raquel Welch wig color, it just means it's got a root. It's a shadow shade. And I love the way they do the root. They're very natural. They're not long roots. It doesn't look like regrowth. It's super natural. And in this particular color, the root blends really well with the base color. If you love auburns and you can do kind of medium dark browns, Shaded Hazelnut could be for you. It's fantastic. Let's get outside so you can see this color outside. Let me know if you have questions. Raquel Welch has been around, not Raquel Welch. Well, Raquel Welch has been around a long time, but this style, Editor's Pick, has been around a very long time. It is a very beloved, very popular style. And so eventually a lot of us mid-lengthers are gonna wanna give this one a try. Just remember you can style her if you need to. Don't forget about 𝘕𝘌. See you guys soon.
Right here is this gorgeous color. It's sunny. It's hot. This is fresh out of the box. I haven't done anything to this one yet. So you're getting a good look. There you go.
Hey friends, thanks so much for watching. Here are a few videos I think you might enjoy. Go ahead and click on one and watch.